Okay, so the movie starts off with this room full of receding hairlines, deciding to continue to sell Chucky dolls.
What the fuck? Stop, Will! Ah!
Between their erectile dysfunction and McDonald's-shaped hairlines, life has been pretty rough for these guys. So let's release a murderous doll to spice things up. But anyways, the scene cuts to this reincarnation of the mustache man, Chucky, being a stain to society. Cause he got straight back to work, no days off. You'd think he'd be getting paid for hating, cause his latest victim is the CEO of Chucky Dolls. Chucky throws out these marbles, had him hitting the
Shot real smooth.
And god dang! Yo, someone get Life 360 on the phone right now. Then Chucky pimp slaps him with a golf club. And just listen to him. My guy, relax. Chucky had this man discombobulated, like he forced him to listen to J. Cole. He then throws a dart with pinpoint accuracy, paralyzing this man, turned him into Steve Hawkins. And nigga, this that we don't have the capacity face.
You're a victim.
Chucky, please don't do it. He's just an old man.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, this little raccoon runs fades with children as a hobby. Elder abuse was bound to happen. So after murdering this old man, Chucky then looks up Andy's information to find out where he's at. And if you're confused on how Chucky is here, so am I. Cause in the last movie, he was left looking like a failed arts and crafts project. Well, get this, some of his blood fell into the plastic that they used to make Chucky dolls. So he survived.
But what the hell, boy?
That motherfucker's cheating! Take my word!
So the scene cuts to my GOAT, the realest nigga, Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Get off that nigga dick, bro. What is you doing?
No!
Andy! So he's at military school now, and in his spare time, he practices using his switch and spit in game. So we meet my fellow Vine speaker Tyler, and he's like Batman's Robin to Andy. And my little nigga, do you know the absolute G your teacher was back when he was your age? He was so tough. But you know, since he's at military school, they have to hit him with that Nigerian special. So as he goes to get his haircut,
Your little pussy belongs to me.
aw, heck nah, it was a
Freaky ass nigga!
Did they hire R. Kelly? Hey, y'all better watch out, cause that white stuff he puts on y'all hairlines, I don't think that's chalk. Anyways, later in the day, Tyler goes to deliver a package to Andy. Now keep in mind that Andy is still traumatized by Chucky dolls. But little bro Tyler thinks it's sweet out here, cause he loves Chucky dolls, and he wants one himself. So when he finds out that the package he's delivering is a Chucky doll, he succumbs to his natural instincts and takes the box. You know, just to check it out. But as he's checking the box, this ankle biter pops out, gets up close and personal, and starts pressing him, talking about some, where's Andy at? I need his body.
Okay, nigga, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh, I ain't listening to you.
I'm sorry, Tyler. This is why you never meet your idols. Man, I just met Santa last week, but he was throwing cheeks for a couple of pennies in Lent. That is not my goat anymore. But for a quick recap on the lore, in order for Chucky to get out of his doll body, he can only switch with the first person he told his true identity to, which was Andy. But since he has a new body and hasn't told anyone, he starts looking at Tyler the same way Demi Lovato looks at Coke.
Give it to me!
So he tells Tyler his true identity, but before he can switch bodies with him, he gets interrupted by these lieutenants. But keep in mind, this is a military school. They don't want there to be a single happy soul on campus.
Nigga, did I just catch you having fun?
So they take away little bro's toy and they throw it away. But as he's walking away, Andy sees this devil. That PTSD is hitting harder than a big nigga fighting for the last chicken wing. So once Chucky gets thrown away like the trash he is, he starts screaming and pretends like he's a little kid to get this honest, hard-working man to jump in and save him. But this heathen pulled a Uno reverse card and goes to the driver's seat, crushing this poor man to death while laughing. This nigga is psychotic. Out of all the Chucky movies we've covered, this has to be the most sinister kill I've seen. So later that night, Andy's in his room setting things up, but Chucky comes from under the bed and slices his ankles. That is extra levels of glaze, by the way. He tells Andy to his face, like he a hoe, that their beef is over and he better go spin the block on little bro Tyler and then spit game to his girl while he's at it.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me though.
But Andy a real nigga. He ain't new to this, he true to this. He said, I'm right here nigga, what's up? But as Andy is beating the soul out of Chucky, Sid from Toy Story comes in, and this dude has been doing tricks on Andy's meat this entire movie. So he saves Chucky from his beating and says he's gonna give the doll to his little sister.
Oh, say less.
Little girl can deal with that ankle biter instead, but Andy is a better man than me. So he goes to Sid's room to finish Chucky off. But as he's searching, Yo, who gave him the knife? Chucky uses the commotion to escape, and this hoe Sid makes everyone go marching because he caught Andy. But Andy can't just leave Chucky alone with Tyler, so he tries to sneak off, but Sid catches him and... Have you lost your cotton picking mind, boy? Did you really think that just because you're the lieutenant, it's free eats out here? But while this is going on, Tyler is out here playing hide and go seek with Chucky.
Oh my god.
Little buddy really thinks life is all sunshine and rainbows. Wait till he finds out what a job is. Being employed is a scary reality, and that's why I do YouTube. So subscribe so I can stay unemployed. But right before Chucky can do anything to Tyler, these girls find my young nigga Tyler in the closet with a doll. In front of the hoes? Tyler, come on. I know Andy taught you better than that. Then these girls take Chucky and emasculate this man. Bro, they turned him into James Charles. But they all dip, leaving Chucky behind because they hear someone come into the room. And after getting his manhood took, Chucky is pissed. So he jumps out at this old guy, but he scared him so badly that he had a heart attack. He started grabbing his chest like he just heard his daughter was the school thought, then dies, which is a reasonable reaction if you were to find that out. But anyways, he gets carried out in a stretcher, and the next morning, they had a moment of silence for the commander that died. But after it ends, this kinky leprechaun comes around passionately, grabbing all these underage boys' hairs. And is that a boner?
You're gay! He's gay!
This nigga has no shame. He could be at his grandma's funeral, but he's still gonna be checking out his thick aunties. But once he leaves, Andy goes over to Tyler, trying to tell him that Chucky is evil. But this little nigga is talking back and is getting a little disrespectful. He lucky Andy ain't a black mother. He would've slapped the skin off his face. But Andy just gives him a knife and says if you see him again, run his fade. So later, R. Kelly is cutting Whitehurst's hair. Now keep in mind, this guy is a little hoe and is proud of it. Anyways, after R. Kelly gives him a low taper and a Picasso level of enhancements, he says this.
Presto, you're bald.
How about presto? You're rank 1 on the sex offender list. But he sees Chucky and goes to give him that KSI cut. But Chucky was not gonna go out like that. Then lines up his neck hairs and then turns his catchphrase against him.
Presto, you're dead.
Whitehurst comes back and sees all this, and all Chucky had to say was one word. Boo. And sent him running with his pants down on his legs. But bro, this guy is like 2 feet tall. If you fight him straight up, what is he gonna do? Tickle your kneecaps? If you don't punt him like a soccer ball? But no, he decides to run. What a smart decision. Hey, check your phone. I think that's Harvard calling.
When you wake up, remind yourself you a bitch. When you look at your mama, say, mama, I'm a bitch.
Anyways, Andy tries to get him to admit to what he just saw, but he says no. So they're heading out to this annual war game where they use paintball guns. But Chucky sees this and goes to replace the paintball guns with real bullets.
What the fuck? Stop it!
But while they're out, Andy stays pulling, but Cheeks have to wait because Tyler is basically a sitting duck out in these woods. But as Andy gets to Tyler's tent, little bro isn't there. He's out with Chucky. Chucky's out here saying,
We can play hide the soul.
I'm tired. I don't want to play that dumb game anymore.
yeah, I'm with you, Tyler. That game has too many sweats, and my ranked teammates are sped. But Chucky ain't having none of that. Then pulls out a knife. But Tyler's frontal lobe has finally developed, and my boy takes out his knife as well. Yeah, run his fade, nephew. Tyler stabs him and then runs off. Left Chucky looking stupid. But since Chucky couldn't beat Tyler, he beats a woman. Bro really went out of his way to look for Andy's girl and took her hostage. But let me break this down for y'all. The paintball game has a red team and a blue team. And since Andy left to look for Tyler, who's on the opposite team, his team assumed that he was a traitor. So when they found him, Andy asked Whitehurst to back him up because he understands what's going on. But this hoe keeps his mouth shut. But Tyler eventually makes it to Andy in the blue team. But Chucky must have been feeling like he was light Yagami because this messy hoe calls the blue team over the radio and tells Andy that he has his girl and that he needs to trade Tyler for her at a specific location. Then after their call, he then calls the red team and tells them to pull up to the same location. Keep in mind, he replaced all their paintball ammo with real bullets. But anyways, both teams eventually pull up and they start shooting at each other and Sid gets blicked down.
I'm not finished.
But last second, Whitehurst jumps on the grenade, taking the blow. He may have lived as a hoe, but he died a real nigga. I go cap, he redeemed himself. But during all this commotion, Tyler dips. He running a 4 flat all the way to the carnival. But this little nigga is too naive, cause he runs to the cops. These dudes are useless. And this cop proves me right, because not only does he give Chucky to Tyler,
You gotta be fucking lying. Well, hell no.
he also gets smoked by Chucky.
Try.
He tries to force Tyler to go into this carnival ride, but Tyler not going. He pulls out scissors, but Chucky got rock.
Damn.
That's tough. But Andy and De Silva eventually pull up, and they get into a shootout with a doll. And now that I'm saying this out loud, what the heck is going on in this movie? But anyways, she loses the 1v1 and gets shot. But then I look to my left, and then I look to my right. And Tyler is gone! This nigga is flying away on a dragon!
Bye, have a great time.
You ungrateful little boy, you just gonna leave him? Yeah. But Chucky was fiending so badly, he didn't see this fat scythe coming down, and it slices his face off, made him even more chopped. But before Tyler could fly off, Chucky hitched her right on. And why is he kicking his legs like this? But once they're at the top, Lil Bro gets knocked out by the dragon, and Chucky is about to switch bodies with him. But they're too high for Andy to reach, so he comes out with that aim assist his mom taught him, and he blicks Chucky down. But Bro comes back, knocking them both down, and Tyler is dangling over a literal blender. Why is this at a carnival? But Tyler passes Andy back his knife, and he cuts off Chucky's hand, and then launches him into the blender. And Chucky finally dies. And I would say GG's, but Andy's mental health is cooked, and there are 5 more movies.